Hey guys, welcome back again in English-Indonesian translation class. And after we discuss the problems in translation, so let's continue with the strategies in translation. Okay guys, we as translators, whether we are aware or not, actually we have applied some strategies in translating text. So to know what are the strategies, we will discuss the several types of strategies in translation, and mainly they fall under two big strategy. The first is structural strategy that focus on the structure and the grammatical structure of the text. And the second is semantic strategy that focus more on the meaning of the text. Okay guys, let's begin with the first strategy. We have structural strategy. In the structural strategy, we have several subtypes. The first is addition. Yeah. In addition, it means we need to add a word or article or any other aspect as the consequence of the different language system from the ASL to TL. So the definition is adding certain words to the target in order words to comply with the grammatical rule of the target language. For example, when we translate saya guru in Bahasa Indonesia to English, we need to make another consequence, that is the addition word of am and a. So as we cannot just say I teacher, it is grammatically incorrect. So to make it correct, we need to do the addition. So this addition of word is in a structural consequences. All right. And then the opposite of addition, we have the subtraction, or reducing some grammatical elements of the source language in order to comply with the grammatical rule of the target language. For example, her husband is an engineer, and we translate it into Bahasa Indonesia, suaminya insinyur. So guys, as suaminya insinyur has been acceptable in Bahasa Indonesia, so we don't have to put like a long sentence by saying suaminya adalah seorang insinyur. Perhaps in the text, the context is informal and more casual, so suaminya insinyur is acceptable. All right, and then the third type is transposition. So transposition is actually similar to what we've done in translating noun phrase. So it can be applied both in the phrase or sentence level. For example, when we translate musical instruments into Bahasa Indonesia, alat musik, so the order of the words are different. Musical instruments and instruments translated as alat, that is put in the beginning, and music is in the final position. And then there is also transposition at the sentence level. So we arrange the structure of the sentence as the structure is non-existent in the target language. For example, when we have an expression that is so common in English, but we don't have the equivalence in Bahasa Indonesia. For example, the expression I find it. So I find it is a very English expression, but in Bahasa Indonesia we don't have the equivalence. Aku menemukan bahwa, so we cannot translate word by word. So we can just transpose it to make it more acceptable in terms of grammar. So for example, I find it more difficult to translate a poem than an article. Right. Then we translate it into bagi saya lebih mudah menerjemahkan artikel ketimbang puisi. Okay, so we change the order of the structure in the sentence. Right. So guys, In structural strategy, we have three types, yeah. The first is addition, subtraction, and transposition. And all those strategies are in terms of grammatical structure. But how about the strategies that focus more on the meaning of the text? Now we have the semantic strategy. All right, let's continue with semantic strategy. So, in semantic strategy, we have also several subtypes of the strategy. The first one is borrowing. So borrowing is like the literal meaning, meminjam. So we borrow the word from the foreign origin to bahasa Indonesia. And there are two ways to do the borrowing. First one is transliteration, and then the second one is naturalization. In transliteration, we just change the letter from the source language to target language. So for example, if we have Malia, just write it as it is. As in both English and Bahasa Indonesia, they have the Roman letter. Yes. But if we translate by using transliteration from Mandarin to Bahasa Indonesia, so we can just write down the Roman letter for what the Hanzi reads. Okay. And it is different when we apply naturalization. So naturalization is naturalize the spelling of the foreign word. For example, in Bahasa Indonesia, the pronunciation of a word is not too far from the spelling, right? So in doing this, we make some adjustment to the spelling of the foreign word. So when we have the word mall, yeah, although in the origin we have double L, as it is only pronounced as mall, yeah, whether it has double or single L, it doesn't matter. So in Bahasa Indonesia we can translate it as small, yeah, single L, and computer, yeah, we have computer, yeah, so it corresponds to the pronunciation. And the last we have remote control, translate to be remote control. So it sounds like as the pronunciation, right? And the naturalization always correspond to the pronunciation system of the target language. All right. And then the second subtype of the strategy, we have cultural equivalent. Yeah, in cultural equivalent, we have the equivalent in the target language, yeah, that exists as the equivalence of the source text terms. For example, in English we have Attorney General, and in Indonesia the closest equivalence is Jaksa Agung. But we need to identify also whether those terms are really correspond or not. Okay, so we don't translate literally Jenderal Pengacara or Jenderal Jaksa, ya. So we need to find the equivalence exists in the target language. And then cultural equivalent is also advantageous when we translate a idiom or any other metaphorical expression. For example, when we have swear words, usually in swear words, it corresponds to the culture of the speaker. Yeah, in English, we have a swearing like son of a bee, right? I won't say the word. But in Bahasa Indonesia, if we translate it literally, yeah, becomes anak anjing betina, yeah. So it will be no longer swear words. So we need to find the equivalence that is also serve the same function, yeah, to swear at someone else. So we can just use the word be here, right? Okay. Okay, and then next to the third subtype of the strategy, we have descriptive equivalent. So descriptive equivalent is when we translate by using the description of the meaning or the function of the source language text. For example, when we have in English great fluidity and grace, and we translate it into luasnya. So luasnya is the definition of great fluidity and grace. Okay, guys. So far, after we have several strategies, it means we have variation and strategies to translate. So no longer word for word translation, right? Okay, let's continue with the first subtype. It is synonym. So guys, it is okay for us to translate a term in source language by using a term in the target language which has more or less the same meaning. Yeah, so it's the synonym. For example, when we have a term of teacher, and we can translate it into Bahasa Indonesia as not only guru, but we can have another term like pengajar, pendidik, tutor, or something else. Yeah, as long as we need to understand the context or the definition of the term. And it is also useful, guys, when we are translating a text that these words often appear or often occur, so we can have more variation. So not only guru, 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 and guru in one text, but we have a more variation. Okay, so we can use thesaurus also to help us with this. All right, yeah, to avoid the high frequency word to be used in one single article. Okay, let's continue with the next strategy, guys. We have formal translation. So in formal translation, we translate certain word or phrase or term based on the already formalized words or phrases by the ruling government. So for example, in Bahasa Indonesia, we have Balai Bahasa, and they have already set up the equivalents for a certain term in English. Yeah, for example, read-only memory. Yeah, the formal translation is memori simpan tetap. So how can we check the formal translation? We can also consult to the dictionary, to KBBI. Yeah, but please mind that actually some of the equivalents in the formal translation is not too common. Even perhaps we don't really we don't really find the formal translation equivalents. Okay, like the other examples like the hard copy and soft copy equivalence in Bahasa Indonesia. That is hard copy and soft copy. What is it? Lunak and keras. Okay. So I forget the term in Bahasa Indonesia, but I'll come up with it later. Okay, guys, so let's continue with reduction and expansion. So in reduction and expansion is a strategy that require us to omit and to add some part of the term. For example, when we have automobile in English and it is translated as mobil, yeah, only mobil in Bahasa Indonesia. And that's reduction. And for expansion, well, in English, sometimes it's translated as ikan paus in Bahasa Indonesia. Yeah, although we know that actually it's wrong. Whale is not a fish, not ikan, but yeah, it's already common in our society. So that's only the example, yeah, guys. But it doesn't show like the the most correct translation, but only the example. Okay, and then next we have also addition. So addition is different with the addition in the structural strategy, as in semantic strategy. Addition means we add more or extra information in order to clarify certain words or phrases. So we can say it like we give more information or definition to the phrase or to the term. And it can be put in the footnotes, yeah, by adding the number on the term, or in endnotes, or in the glossary, or even in the body text. For example, when we want to add more information about camouflage, so it is translated as berkamuflase, and then we add more information, menyesuaikan diri dengan keadaan lingkungan. And then predators, yeah, translated as predator, hewan pemangsa. Okay, so guys, if we decide to use this strategy, yeah, it is good for the readers, as they will get the whole information about the term, so they don't have to find it in the glossarium or in other dictionary. But the consequence, we will have more words or a longer sentence. Yeah, it's actually matter in translated text, as sometimes we need to stick to the number of the words in the text. Yeah, so when we translate like one paragraph, so and with 100 words, so as our our target, we need to more or less also in 100 words, so not double it up. Yeah, from the source language it is 100, and then to target language it becomes 200. Okay, I think that's too much. Okay, so it is also readers friendly, as they are easily understand the term or the concept that is being explained. Yeah, but you need to understand the consequence also. All right, let's continue with omission. Omission or zero translation. So in zero translation, we omit certain element in the source language text, as there is a cultural difficulties or other reasons. So guys, it is possible for us as translator to omit a certain element in the text, yeah, as long as it doesn't change the meaning of the text. So it's not that significant. The message or the meaning is still there. And the example is, sama dengan Raden Ayu ibunya, katanya Lire. Just like her mother, she whispered. So the translator doesn't translate Raden Ayu, as perhaps he or she think that it is not too significant. So if we just omit the word or the term Raden Ayu, so it's okay. Okay. Yeah, but don't omit all the things in the text, yeah, guys. Yeah, you need to consider it again. And then the next one is modulation, guys. So modulation is translating the text by taking a different point of view from the writer of the source language text. So it is similar when we have a different point of view in terms of our culture. For example, is the first pair in English when we want to explain a condition that you have a fracture, yeah, you will say I broke my leg. But in Bahasa Indonesia, we don't have similar point of view, yeah. We don't say aku mematahkan kakiku, yeah. It sounds like you purposely breaking your leg. But instead, in Bahasa Indonesia, we say it as kakiku patah. Yeah, so it's accidental incident. And then there is also, there was no compromise, yeah, and it is translated as tiada banding. Okay, so the same expression but different point of view. Yeah. And then the last one is when we translate a proverb or idiom. Yeah, it is also a modulation when we translate losing the moon while counting the stars. It is a proverb in English, and we can do the modulation by finding the equivalent of the proverb with the similar meaning. Yeah, but the wording is different, but it's okay. As long as the meaning is similar and it doesn't change the meaning, the whole meaning of the text. Yeah. For example, losing the moon while counting the stars is translated into anak di pangkuan dilepaskan, buruk di rimba disusukan. Right. So far, yeah, we have 9 strategies for semantic strategy, guys. But in translating, you don't have to apply all the strategies. Yeah, you can just choose the strategy that fits your text and also your style. But I want to show you that even when we translate, we don't aware that we are not aware that we actually have applied these strategies. Okay, guys, I hope this explanation could help you in enhancing your translating skill. And we'll continue with one exercise by filling out the crossword. Okay, guys. All right, thank you very much for listening to me. So I'll see you again in the next meeting. Okay, thanks, guys.